So this is my template. So usually what we do, we take it up one method at a time. For example, in my driver, so I want to, for example, update a given employee. Okay. So you create one employee and try to update him. So we just now added employee with ID 9. Okay. So let's update this. Once we insert this, so what we can do, we can go for get employee and check it once. What I'm doing, I've added 9. So now let me get the employee by ID 9 and let me try to print it. Okay. And also because we added this employee already, if I try to add it, of course, my database should give me an error. Okay. Now let's try to simply run it. Okay, you can see the error here, duplicate entry 9 for key employee primary. So we are printing, we are handling the exception here, and we are just printing the message given by our database, that is MySQL. Okay, employee inserted, it is not inserted, it is false. Okay, so now in our third attempt, we connected successfully, and you can see employee got retrieved. So now what I want to update this guy. So already have the employee details here. I'll take the same employee, that is a new employee. I will change the name, for example. So ID I should keep it same. So name, let me change it to EMP9 new. So this is just a test data. If it works for our sample test data, it should also work for our real data. So I'm changing the name of the object. Similarly, new employee dot set salary. Okay, earlier it was 4,500. Let me make this as 4,750. So now I need to call a method. I need to depend on my service. So go for the employee service. Employee service dot update employee, new employee. So please all of you observe this DTO class or this object of my DTO is used to transfer the data from my controller. This is my driver to the service. Correct now, from service to DAO layer. So it is just, I'm using this object to transfer the data. Okay, so that's why we call it as a DTO class or a POJO class. We never write our business logic inside our DTO. It is just there to transfer our data from one layer to another layer. Okay, now here, so for example, from my driver, I want to, if you want to see the declaration, you can click here. If you want to see the implementation, you can go here. Okay, so now let me check the declaration. So I'm here. Okay, so similarly, if I want to go to the implementation, this is here. So I want to update the employee. I will depend on my repository, this dot emp repository dot update employee. You must be observing that there is nothing we are doing in the business logic. So when we take up a case study, so we will take up a case study in which you might have to depend on multiple repositories, and you might have to do some manipulation with respect to these repositories. Okay, so now let's go to update employee of my repository and then implement it. Open the implementation. So you can see I'm inside my repository here. I'm supposed to update it. See, the code looks identical, guys, here, because instead of inserting, I will be writing an update query. That's why. So we need to get the connection, and then you create the prepared statement. So write here an update command, and then set your parameters, and then finally execute the update. Okay, if it is successful, return me true. So I'm taking one Boolean, and then I'm going for a try block, then I'm going for a catch block. Okay, it is telling me that it's an unreachable block for SQL exception. This exception is never thrown from the try statement body. Okay, it is telling me that you did not call any method that throws this SQL exception. So it will never come here. That's what it is trying to say. So now let's try to write the prepared statement here. This is what we want to do. All of you, whenever you are coding, you need to keep an eye on your coding standards. Okay, for example, here, if you see, the method name should be a verb, and it should be always camel cased. And whenever you are declaring any variables, so it should always start with the small cases. So my statement is ready. So just have to set the values. So prepare statement dot set. So I have a name here, set a string. This particular name I would like to set. So then it will be one. The name will be my employee. From DTO, I have to get the name and I have to set it here. So I will go for get the name. Similarly, again go to the prepare statement. Set double. I want to set the salary. The salary would be index to employee dot get the salary. So similarly to the query, I need to set the ID also. So I'll go for prepare statement dot set integer. So this is index 3 and this one is my employee dot get ID. So then I will go for if statement. So if I go for update SQL query or execute update, so it will going to return me how many records got updated. Okay. If I don't specify ID, then it will update all your records. It will give me total count, how many records got updated. Okay. So if you have such requirements, then you should be able to write a multi-row update queries and you should get to know how many rows got updated. So in such cases, you should get that count and you need to appropriately handle it. So right now, if I can get to know my update is done, so then I will be able to set my boolean prepare statement dot execute. So basically, record did not get updated, let's say, you might go here. Okay, what we can do either if that particular exception happens, so I should write that exception handling mechanism here. Okay, so now let's see. Suppose if it returns 0, then you can give them the exception has happened from our backend. So that message also you can carry to the end user. Okay, we will do that exception handling separately. So let's complete our task. Okay, let's see whether we are able to update it or not. So finally, I would like to return you is record updated. So that completes my implementation. Let's try to run it and see whether it got updated or not. So from the driver, so I'm calling the service. From the service, I'm calling the repository. Okay, right. So it will going to return me a Boolean, true or false. Okay. So let me use the same thing. Okay, let's try to run it. So you can see it is telling me that employee updated equal to true. Okay, to see that whether the employee got updated or not, you can once again execute this. You can see the ID has been retained. So similarly, guys, so you guys can implement the delete employee by ID. So call the service employee service dot delete employee by ID. You can send the ID by 9. Okay. And also I can also print whether it got deleted or not. So let me implement this. So this is my service. So I'm getting the ID as a parameter for my service layer. So in my service, I simply call this dot my employee repository dot delete employee by ID. Let me go to this implementation. So let me just, we know that it's a similar code. So let me just take this code. So what we're doing, getting the connection. So is record updated. I'll take is record deleted. So then instead of update, I will go for delete. Delete employee where ID equal to this particular ID. So I don't have to set any of these name and a salary. So I'm getting directly the ID. So I'm going to set it, set int 1 comma ID. Okay. And then I'm going to execute this update and I'm going to set is record deleted equal to true. And finally, I'm going to send you is record deleted. Okay, let me just format it. Yes, we are done with the deletion. Delete employee where ID. Okay, so now let's try to run it again. Okay. Okay, something went wrong. You have an error in your SQL statement. Or check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL Server version and use, okay, to use near where ID equal to 9 at line number 1. So what is wrong in MySQL, guys? So where is my W? Okay, delete from employee. Is that correct? Yeah. So we had missed the query from keyword there. So now you can see. So my record got deleted. Okay, I think I need to change that text also. Employee. Okay, let me just check it whether it got deleted or not. Okay, employee deleted is false. Successful connection, and we are able to retrieve 9. So what is happening? Okay, let me go to the workbench. Okay, for delete, we have created one trigger. Maybe because of this, something is going wrong. Let me see what has happened. Select star from employee. Okay, I need to go for use database. Yeah, it has not deleted my employee 9. Okay. Right. So let me just check my backup also. Oh, so in my backup, it has inserted, but I don't know why it did not delete my record. Hmm. You can see my trigger also got executed, but so let me see once again employee. What is wrong there? Employee 9. Hmm. So let me delete it here. Error code duplicate key 9 for key employee backup primary. Oh, okay. So that key 9 is already there in my backup table. So because my trigger failed, even my deletion is also getting failed. Okay, just give me a second. So I just want to truncate employee backup. Okay, I truncated it. So now let me delete this guy. So now you can see it got affected. Let me see. Yes, 7 rows returned. You can see row 9 is not there. So now let me just delete this particular ID 8. If I go to the backup, you can see 9 is here. So let me delete 8 from my application. Okay, let me run it. What happened? Okay. Okay, it's taking time. Right. Okay, you can see employee deleted equal to true, successful connection, and it is returning me null. That means the employee 8 is not there. So go to the database, select star from employee. You can see 8 also got deleted. How come 9 is there? One second. Oh, sorry. Our project is adding it again and again because we are adding here now, so it is getting added. Okay, guys. So that's it. about yesterday's assignment? Any questions here? So because of our trigger, so that if the record already exists, we will not be able to delete it because I'm getting a error because of the trigger. Because trigger fails, your delete also fails. Did you observe that, guys? Any questions? Am I audible? Why there is no response? Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions, guys? You followed? All of you followed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm asking is to implement one more method here. So that will be, it should give me a list of employee. It is called as get all employees. So this is the contract, one more contract I'm giving you, adding one more abstract method here. So as soon as I added here, so you can observe here, so your employee service implementation is showing one error. So that means we have one unimplemented method here. So just click on this. It will going to add this method here, get all employees. Okay, so then I can go to the repository also. I can add one more method here, list employee get all employees. As soon as you add the method to the contract or the interface, your implementation will ask you to implement it. So come to your repository implementation and click on this. You should be able to implement your logic here. This is how you should generate your template, and you have to implement them. Clear now, guys? Can you do that for me?
Yes, sir.